Okay, good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so welcome to our week 5 installing and configuring computer systems. So we have the following objectives. One is define stress testing operationally, then identify the tools in stress testing about the CPU, the RAM, the hard drive, and the GPU. But before that, I want to ask you something. So how are you feeling today? Would you like to share?
I'm feeling today excited.
Okay, you're quite excited. How about you?
Feeling happy because of this.
Okay. How about my students online? Kung may estudyante ka online, where are you? Open your cam. Please open your camera para makita niyo yung mga classmate niyo. Okay. Mehoraga, how are you feeling today? Rashalan?
I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Next, yan pa na online. How about Ronjay?
I'm feeling okay naman po, sir.
Next, Jan?
Excited po, sir.
Okay. Clarice? Hamison?
I'm excited.
Okay, how about you, Jerry?
Excited po, sir.
Okay, so thank you for your participation. So I do hope that you are physically and mentally fit. As of this day, we are facing a new challenge. Diba? We have a limited face-to-face. Then at the same time, my online students are also part of this activity. So hope everything will be okay and good morning. So now let us try to use the last point for our grade test. So we have your direction. Read the following question carefully and choose the letter of the best answer. You may now start answer. So it carried out to check the performance of the component while running it at full speed and maxing its temperature. So what's that? A, letter B, letter C, and letter D. So I do hope na yung mga nasa online, you are still with us. Okay. Okay, next. For number 3, the process of forcing your computer to run faster than it's intended to do.
Ba't wala pong choice?
Wait lang. Mga online student, okay, should wait. Now, first done. Your points. Okay, for number 4, use to monitor your computer's performance or to close a program that is not responding. So what will be the correct answer? You choose from letter A, B, C, or D. Same thing also with those students online. I do hope that you are still with us. Yan, mga naka-on cam sila, listening and answering the play test. Okay? For number 5, which is not true about stress testing. So, letter A, used to evaluate the stability of the performance. And B, can be used in maintaining a certain level of effectiveness. Letter C, it is used to monitor the performance of a computer. And letter D, it it can be very harmful and dangerous to your computer. So and now, for our next game or next activity, we will have the name that computer hardware. Are you now excited, class?
Yes, sir.
How about my students online? Are you now excited and ready for
Yes
the
po,
next
sir.
game?
Yes,
Okay,
we are.
very good. So, again, on your computers, face your computers, and those online students, be ready. Let us now begin. Okay, for number one, name that computer hardware. You may now key in or type in your correct answer for number one. Okay, so now we have the results. So the results for the short answer coming from my online students and those who are here inside the classroom, their answer are CPU. Okay, let us go on to Amazon. Are you sure with your answer?
Yes po.
Okay, why CPU? Make it louder now. Okay, you like that, Hamilton? Okay, Ron J?
Hello, sir. It's computer processing unit po, or CPU.
The computer processing unit or CPU, and it's very an example of the CPU. Nakikita ba?
Yes po. Apo, sir. Yes po.
Okay. So we have mga keys. It is known as the brain of the computer. Okay. So now, we're going to move next. The correct answer is the CPU. For number two, you may now key in your answer. Okay. So stop. Okay, here are the results. So I have how many students? 10 are able to join. Okay. What is the correct for answer for number 2? It is known as RAM. Okay, are you familiar with RAM? Do you have an example there? Okay. Next slide. So what's that? Okay, RAM. RAM, what's the function of a RAM? So sama ko lagi, ano siya? Memory. Okay, that's known as a. So online students, this is known as a RAM. Nakita bang mabuti?
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Okay. Next, number 3. Name that computer hardware. Number 3. Type in your answer. Okay. Here are the results. So we have Rans, Jay, Amazon, Aero, Jerry, John, Hazel, Joshua, Leorada, Tamlao, and Ron J. So most of them answered hard disk drive or the hard disk, but only Ron J answered the GPU. Okay, Ron J, why GPU ang sagot mo? Bakit naging GPU?
Sir,
GPU.
naglalag yung class point po.
Nagdalag kasi ang kanyang class. No, it's very normal. It's natural. Normal lang yan. Okay, it's okay. So the correct answer is, ano yung correct answer mo?
HDD
Or, where's an example of HDD? Okay, show it in front of the class. Ipakita mo nga sa camera doon sa mga classmates mo online. O, classmate nyo. O. Ayan. Balik tayo mo para mapakita mo yung kung ilang gigabyte yan. Para mo mabuti pa pumaksa. Ayan, mabilin nyo na. Okay, so thank you for your participation. Nakita niyo na example?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Next. Okay, for number 4. Okay. Stop. You know, stop. Timer ends. So, we have here different answer. Ilan nakapasok na estudyante? Only 9 because of the internet connection. So, most of your answer are GPU and they are all correct. So, very good. A round of applause para sa inyo. Palakpakan naman yung sarili. Okay, online class. Palakpakan naman yung sarili. You are able to participate. Tingnan naman yung learners. Okay. Ngayon, ano ibig sabihin ng GPU? Would like to answer, online student. What does GPU mean? Okay. Hamison.
Graphics Processing Unit po.
Again?
Graphics Processing Unit.
Okay, graphic processing unit. Okay, John, pakilakas yung sagot.
Graphics processing.
Ronjay, pakilakas. Magandang audio mo.
Graphic Processing Unit po.
Okay, graphic processing unit. So, very good. Thank you. So, thank you for your participation regarding on that activity. Okay, now, moving on. We will have another activity. This activity has something to do with identifying pictures. So, you need to analyze pictures, then at the same time, try to combine it and you will get the correct answer for that. So, we will have here the first example. So, look at 2 or 3 pictures that combine to create a word. Okay. Would like to answer on this? Volunteer? Okay, may stand up here.
An axe and a pair of hands to see and infinity.
So, what do you think is that?
Axie infinity.
Okay, axie infinity. Any answer? Meron pa ba? How about online students? May sagot pa ba kayo tungkol dito? Additional? Ron J?
Axie Infinity po. Cryptocurrency game.
Okay, cryptocurrency game. So, let us see. Tignan natin. Okay. That is axie infinity. So, I have given you an example. So, now, we will have another game. So, this one is known as a picto word. Who would like to try picto word? Number 1. Okay, Lia?
The first picture shows place followed by book, and that is Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. So, do you agree? Online students?
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po, sir.
Any answer? O same lang?
Same lang po.
Okay, let's see.
Same lang po, sir.
Okay, that is Facebook. Okay, next one. Palakpakan nyo yung mga classmate nyo na kasagot. Okay, next one. Who would like to try? Or number 2. What is the first image? The second image and the third image. Would like to try? What is this? Okay, may nagtaas ang kamay. Sino to? Okay, ang loud.
Photoshop po, sir. Photoshop.
Photoshop. Tama ba? Tingnan nga natin. Ito bang number 1 is photo. Susunod ay shop. Tatlo yan. 1, 2, 3. Okay yun? Adobe Photoshop. This one. Okay, palakpakan nyo yung nasa. Okay, kasi kung mapapansin nyo, this one is made up of rock. That's adobe. So, a sediments. And this one is taking a picture or photo. And the other one is yung Shopee, where you can shop online. So, pag nagsama-sama nyo yan, Adobe, Photoshop. Okay. So, ano kaya pinalaman ng mga yon? Axie Infinity, Valorant, Adobe Photoshop, Facebook, YouTube, and different kinds of search engine. Ano kaya kinalaman nila sa ating lesson? So later on, you will find that. Okay. Now, try to relate on this. So what do I have in front? Ano meron tayo sa harapan? Okay, iyo? Ayo?
Two different pictures of birthdays.
Okay, two different person. Okay, working. Tama, very good. How about online students? What do you say about the picture? Ron J.
It shows two different kind of feelings po in front of computers. The first picture po shows stress while the other one is feeling good po.
Okay, so napapakita doon ng emosyon. How about the rest? Yung iba pa? Any similarities? May nakita ba kayong similarities na ginagawa nila? They are both what? They are both? Okay, yun. They are both? They are both? Sige, continue na. Okay. Very good. Tama yung sinabi mo. They are both using the computer. Okay. So, but how do they differ? Paano naman sila nagkaiba? Since both of them are using the computer, paano naman sila nagkaiba? Okay, volunteer, would like to answer. Okay, from online, yung nagtaas. Okay, Amazon.
The first picture looks stressful, maybe because his computer is not functioning well, while the second person looks happy because his computer is functioning well.
Okay, yun ang kanyang pananaw. Diba? Sabi niya, maybe, or perhaps, since both of them are using the computers, person letter A, maybe, this computer is working very slow and laggy. So that's why, as you can see, much of the work are delayed. While the other one naman, on the other hand, still also using computers. But as you can see, from the emotion itself, from the body language, the person is happy. Maybe because, when I talk about effectivity in terms of work, he is not late. Because the device that he is using is very effective and efficient. Kumbaga, the computer might run fast. So every work is accomplished on time or on date. Okay, so nice observation about that. So when we talk about computers, we could also express our emotions. Diba? There are times na when you are playing, diba? Imagine that, diba? Sometimes you are playing a ranked game. And then suddenly, what happens? Nag-lag ang iyong computer. How do you feel about that? Okay, na-stress ka kasi sayang pera mo, diba? Ay, pupunta ka sa computer shop, sayang pera mo. Okay, so you feel stressed. So that's why, dito makikita natin na sometimes emotion, may kinalaman yan sa ating mga ginagamit. The more upgraded, the more updated the device is, your work becomes more efficient. And you become happy. You feel happy. Right? So, may kinalaman yan. So, paano natin i-relate sa ating topic? Since our topic is somewhat like regarding computer hardware stressing. So, binanggit ko na salitang stress. So, dito may binanggit na estudyante kanina na stress daw ang mga tao na nandito. Ano ba kaya stress na yung sinasabi niyo? Okay. Pakipasa nga natin. Would like to read, volunteer. Number 1, about stress testing. Ron J?
Software stress testing emphasize availability and error handling under extremely heavy loads to ensure software does not crash due to insufficient resources.
Okay, so that is software stress testing. Kumbaga, emphasizes ability and error handling under extreme heavy loads to ensure na yung software will not crash due to insufficient resources. So, may mga dinevelop silang software, different software that are being used, pero bago yun ilabas sa market, nag-undergo siya ng stress testing bago yung ibenta sa merkado para hindi sila mapaya and make sure that their product is working efficiently. How about number two? Number two,
Hardware stress testing ensures stability in normal computing environments.
next, hardware stress testing. Okay, i-ensure naman ito ang kanyang stability under normal environments. Kamukha nito, kung titignan nyo mabuti. Naka-air condition ba tayo? Naka-air condition ba tayo?
Hindi po.
Is the room well ventilated? Maayos ba ang takbo ng hangin? Okay naman siya. Pero as you can see, the computer shields are on. The computers here are all working. Ibig sabihin, kinakaya naman ng mga devices dito, ng mga computers dito. Oh, another example, naglalaro kayo sa computer shop. Di ba? Naka-aircon din ba doon? Okay, hindi. If you're going to describe their system unit o yung CPU nila, naka-open ba? Okay, naka-open ang kanilang case. Okay, para yung hangin ay mag-circulate. That is one way of example. Imagine that. Pag naglalaro ka ng Valorant, nakikipag-chat ka pa, nanonood ka pa. Diba? Tapos, meron ka pang ibang application na ino-open. Gumagawa ka ng assignment mo. Sabay-sabay. So, at the same time, ang tawag doon is multitasking. Doing that, ang computer, parang ikaw, utusan ka ng nanay mo, bumili ka ng suka, maglaba ka. Di ba? Magluto ka, habang mamlansya ka. Anong mararamdaman yun? No? Mapapagod ka, maano ka? Okay, ma-stress ka, parang hindi mo alam kung anong uunahin mo. Safety course with the computer. So sila ay nag-a-undergo ng ganun. So that's why mamaya titingnan natin yung kanilang percentage of usage, kung okay pa ba siya o hindi na. And from there, we could see possible errors na kung saan pwede tayong mag-stress test ng computer. Next, another one. How about from the online? Online? How about from the online? Amazon?
Website stress testing determines the limitations of any of the site's functionalities.
Okay, pakibasa nga ulit. Okay?
Website stress testing determines the limitation of any of the site's functions or functionalities rather.
Okay, yung website naman stress testing. So, bago yan i-launch as a specific website. So, nag-undergo siya ng stress testing. Paano? So, imagine mo na lang, kung ang lahat tayo ay o-order ng sabay-sabay for a specific meal, papasok yung sabay-sabay doon. So, dapat yun ma-handle mabuti ng website na yun. Dahil kung hindi, yun ay magkakaroon ng system crash. So, ibig sabihin nun, hindi ganun ka stable yung website na yun, maaari yung kanyang internet connection as well, at maaari din yung kanyang query regarding on that. So, kaya itong tatlo na to, software, hardware, website, silang tatlo ay ginagamit in terms of the concept of stress testing. So, silang lahat ay nakakategorize na kung saan, pag sinabing software, pwedeng mag-undergo ng stress testing, hardware, and then websites. Okay. So, any question about that? Online students, do you have any question about this? About the topic?
None po. None po, sir.
None.
Okay, wala. So, dito, pinag-uusapan ng stress testing. How about tayo sa tao? Tayo as a person, can we handle stress? Iyo, can you handle stress?
No, sir.
We cannot handle stress.
For a certain degree po, minsan po, hindi ko po kaya.
Okay, kumbaga there's a limit about handling the stress. Very good. How about you? Do you know how to handle stress?
It depends on my
Situation. Okay, how about you, Iya? Can you handle stress? Do you know how to handle stress?
Kapag stress po ako, gumagawa po ako ng ibang paraan para mawala po yun. Halimbawa po, kapag nandun ako sa stress na parang nasa mismong posisyon po ako, lilipat po ako sa iba. Kumbaga, para mawala po yung stress ko.
Okay, kumbaga you're finding ways, ina-divert mo ang iyong attention para makapag-move ka sa... Okay, so for another activity, I want you to listen. Online student, yan at the same time, ang aking mga kasama sa on-site. So we have here to answer student stress scale. So this will measure on how you are able to cope up with stress. Now, get your task sheet. Muna lang yung task sheet. And then, sasagutan natin ng mga sunod-sunod na yan. Okay. So, see how many of the following changes have occurred in your life in the past year. Now, check all those that apply and then add up your score to see your stress level. Ang gagawin natin, mga sa example na to, checkan nyo lang dyan yung mga nangyari sa inyong stress, mga naranasan ninyo na stress or stressor, and then may equivalent ka na points. Ngayon, i-add nyo lang lahat yun. Okay, online class, nakakasunod ba?
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Pipili lang kayo dito ng mga senaryo o pagkakataon na kung saan kayo ay na-stress o may nangyaring stress na gaganapan. And then, may equivalent points yan. Bibilangin nyo lang yun, pagsasamahin ninyo, kukumpida natin, i-add lamang. Naunawaan ba? Hindi lahat to, ha? Alam naman na stress kayo ng todo, buong buhay nyo, lahat yan, add nyo. So, pumili lang kayo dyan. Ha? Pumili lang kayo dyan. Okay. Magbibigay lang ako ng sample, ha? So, halimbawa, death of a close member, 100 yun. Kung meron man sa inyo nangyari ng ganun, may taong malapit sa inyo and then she passed away because of this pandemic, lagay mo, check and then 100. And then, basahin yung iba, tapos add lang natin. Maliwanag ba? Online, nakakasunod ba?
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Okay, you may now start the activity. Okay, so we have 10 more seconds to finish your task about this activity. And by that time, you are now able to compute your stress level points from major, serious, moderate, mild, and very little amount of stress. So let us wait. Online students, are you still with us?
Yes po. Yes po, sir.
Okay. So a few more minutes, then later on, we're going to call on somebody about your output. Now, who would like to volunteer from the online group? Ron J, what is your stress points level?
Ano po, mild stress po.
Okay, mild stress. What's your score?
130, I mean 156 po.
Okay, 156 or 156. Okay. So thank you for participation, Ronjay. Another example from the group. So online, before we proceed dito sa ating mga actual or face to face. Okay, Tanglaw, what is your total points?
149 po, sir.
149. Okay, so that's what?
Very little stress po, sir.
Wow, very good naman. Sana all. Very little naman niya. Stress. Okay, so thank you. How about dito sa ating mga nasa loob ng classroom? Iha, Dave, 200 ang kanyang total points. So what's that? Moderate stress. Okay, so very good. So, ano naman yung kinakain yung stress mo? Mabot mo moderate.
Ano sir, parang lahat po na ginagawa ko, yung mga schoolworks, pagdidinis ko ng bahay, yung mga gawain bahay ko na ano. Tapos buong araw ko, parang malalalit po ako.
Okay, kung mag-alap tayo upstairs, kaya mo na, nakakaya mo na. Ngayon, alam mo na ikaw ay moderate stress. Dapat, alam mo paano siya, driver ko, bawasan. So, thank you. Another. So, thank you for cooperation and participation. Online, naunawaan ba?
Yes po.
Yes
Yes,
po.
po.
And additional?
None po, sir.
Okay, so
None
thank
po.
you. So moving on, the activity is all about the task manager. So what is a task manager? So by this time, you are quite wondering, what is a task manager? So a task manager shows you the program, processes, and services that are currently running on your computer. So meaning to say, upon browsing to your computer, checking on your computer, you could find the task manager. Later on, we're going to have a hands-on about the task manager. So what is the purpose of that? It is used to monitor your computer's performance. Am I heard clear, online students?
Yes po, sir.
Yes
Yes,
po.
po.
Okay. So, further question. What are those programs, processes, and services that can be seen running in the task manager? Ano kaya yung mga yun? So we're going to part this question. We're going to part this question, and later on we'll find it out. Now, why is stress testing important in computer? Bakit kaya? Any idea? Why stress testing is important? Online class? Would like to volunteer? Ron J? What
To
makes
determine po if your
Your
Okay po.
okay po.
To
To
determine po
determine
if
po
your
if your
computer
computer
is
is
overused
overused
or
or
not.
not.
Okay, your computer is overused or not. Another, how about from this group? Any idea? Why? Is it important?
To determine your computer is lagging.
Okay, to know if your computer is somewhat like slow and lagging. What makes it slow and lagging? And additional, online, limorada,
To evaluate the stability of the
again,
to evaluate the stability of the performance po.
to evaluate the performance of the PC. Okay. So later on, we're going to talk about that to fully understand about stress testing. Now, let us now identify the different tools used in stress testing. Since we're talking about stress testing, we have here different examples of computer hardware. We will have the HDD or the hard disk. We will have the RAM, the GPU, and the CPU. All of these are known as computer hardware. And they are all candidate for stress testing. But specifically, meron silang kanya-kanyang tools to be used para ma-evaluate sila ng gusto. So, number 1, CPU. Pakibasa ng CPU.
CPU stress testing. CPU stress testing carries out check the performance of the components while running it at full speed and maxing its temporary true. When a CPU is being tested, all the cores of the chip will get used. Also to ensure a true test.
Thorough test. Okay. Ngayon, anong specific tool ang gagamitin para ma-check ang CPU for stress testing? Would like to answer? Anong tool? Number 1? Okay, iyo? What else? Okay. Yan ang mga specific tools para ma-check ng gusto ang CPU. Meron siyang specific tool. Next. Number 2. Next, number 2. How about from the online? Roger.
RAM stress testing. RAM stress testing is the first thing that you should perform if you are facing any problems like a blue screen or random system reboots. Testing the RAM can help identify memory defects and behavioral failures.
Okay, so when we talk about the RAM, that's something to do with the computer memory. If your computer is running slow, so perhaps a particular problem could be memory. And from there, you could apply also to upgrade it by means of using or installing an SSD to upgrade and to make your computer run smoothly and very fast. Okay, what is the tool for RAM testing? Okay, very good. Okay, next. Another one, we have here the GPU stress testing. Can you read it? Jerry? How about Ron J?
GPU stress testing. An application used to push your GPU to its absolute limit. This means full utilization of its processing power, using all the electrical power available to the card, all while pushing to the cooling and the temperature as far as they can go.
Okay, what are those tools? John?
Sir,
Ano yung mga tools na gagamitin para ma-stress test ang GPU?
yung Heaven and Valley benchmarks po, 3D Mark or Mark.
Okay ka na ha? Okay, di ba gamer ka? So, once that you're a gamer, ang kailangan mo ay magandang GPU. So from there, the tool needed in terms of your gaming build na PC is this one, the Heaven and Valley, the 3D Mark, and the 4 Mark. If you want to test the GPU, that is known for gaming. Dapat maganda mo yung GPU. Okay. Followed by another computer hardware. We will have here the hard drive. This read.
Stress testing hard drive can be used to see the health of your hard drive and to see how it's performing in the stress test of your hard drive. Then you have use Microsoft Windows.
Okay, ano yung mga tools naman na kailangan to test?
Save tools for the HDD scan test backup.
Okay. So now, you are aware of those tools. So specifically, we have different kinds of computer hardware, and in every specific computer hardware, there is also a specific tool. Hindi pwedeng yung isang particular na application o tool ay gagamitin natin para sa iba. No, that's wrong. So, meron siyang specific na intended for its function or use only. Example, if it's a hard disk, meron siyang specific tool, the RAM, the GPU, and the CPU. So, any question? Online students, do you have any question or do you want to add something?
Yan
Lang
po.
po.
Yes,
Yan po.
sir.
Okay, very good. How about you, class? Okay, so, thank you. So, with that, to sum it up, we'll talk about stress testing. Pakibasa ka ng malakas iyo.
Stress testing procedures. Stress testing is the process of determining the ability of a computer network program or device to maintain a certain level of effectiveness under unfavorable conditions.
Okay. So, that is known as stress testing. Ngayon, guys, magkakaroon tayo ng somewhat like a little procedure na kung saan that you need to follow. Then later on, may isang classmate kayo na gagawa nito. Then later on, kayo lahat ay gagawa nito kasama ang nasa online class. Now, let us try this. Dito, wait lang, ako muna. Dito meron tayong stress testing procedure na kung saan ang gagamitin lamang muna natin ay task manager. Why task manager? Because we only want to find out yung possible error or in the near future, what could be the possible problem that we would face using our computer. Kumbaga, a little assessment. Ulitin ko, it is just a little assessment. It is not as detailed as those tools that was mentioned earlier. You get the idea? Okay. So, ako muna, ipapakita ko on how to do this procedure. Okay, to continue, let us now try to use the task manager to see the percentage usage of the CPU, the hard disk, the RAM, and the GPU. So I will do it first, then later on, I will call on somebody, then she will show it or he will show it in front. Same thing also as to those students online, then later on, you are going to do it all. Let us now try to use the task manager to check the percentage and usage of the different computer hardware, like the CPU, the hard disk, the GPU, and the RAM. So we need to follow these procedures. Number 1, close all open programs. Then number 2, right-click at the bottom bar, do sa taskbar. Punta tayo dun sa Windows. Okay. Then look for the task manager. Then, so, in order to see closely, just maximize it. From there, you will see the different percentage of the different hardware, like the CPU, the memory, the disk, and even the network. So if you have a problem regarding about being slow and laggy, in terms of using your computers, probably one of the main function is the factors to consider is to check the network. Then we have also the GPU. Now, what is critical on this? If the following, like the memory, the disk, reach up to 100%. Ano mangyayari niya pag nangyari yung 100%? Papunta na siya doon. It changes color. Nagiging kulay red yan. So, meaning to say, the usage is very high. Mataas na siya. So, for example, from this memory, nakarating siya ng 99. So, what will you do? Online class, are you still there?
Yes, yes
Yes
po,
po.
sir.
So, what do you think will be the best way to do? If the memory reaches up to somewhat like a critical level, what will you now do? Anong gagawin ninyo? Would you upgrade it, the memory? Hello? Okay? Just answer.
We're going to ask po if it's needed to change po.
Okay? So, syempre, magtatanong kayo sa isang computer technician. So, if they say so that you need to upgrade your memory, your RAM, do it. Or rather, upgrade it to SSD to make it more stable. Okay. Then, when we talk about the disk, once that it reached the critical level also, you could do here is to what? You could defrag. Pwede kayo mag-defrag dito o mag-delete ng mga hindi na kailangan na application. You get the idea?
Yes
Yes.
po.
You get the idea, online class?
Yes po.
How
Yes po,
about
sir.
Yes po.
my students here? Do you get the idea? Yes. Okay. Do you have any question? Okay, wala. So, Iya, could you please stand up? Could you tell me what is the percentage of the memory that you have there?
The percentage of this memory is 36%.
Is?
36%.
Okay, the usage is only 36%. Okay, how about you, Iya?
36%.
Okay, 36%. Kasi naka-network. Yung 36% na yan, once that you turn up your computer, mababawasan na yan. Kasi yung memory naman na dyan, hindi siya mag-i-stay. Okay, naintindihan? Hindi siya mag-i-stay dyan. It will not be safe. As like that. Okay, so now you understand. If you want to check if there's an error, merong nag-freeze, merong hindi gumagana sa inyong computer, you could check your task manager and then delete it. Yan ang kanyang main function. Kumbaga for future references na gusto natin makita na if there's something wrong with our computer, you could use a task manager. And from there, pwede kayong magkaroon ng consultation sa isang computer technician and then undergo the process of stress testing using their specific tool or right tool na para sa kanila. Okay, moving on. Ron J, can you do the activity?
Yes po.
Okay. So, you can now show your board online to be viewed by your fellow classmates. You may now start. Adjust the light.
Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Here's how you to check your taskbar. You were going here just to right click and find the task manager. Then you will click it. And here, you may now see your task manager.
Okay, Ron J, I have a question.
Yes
Can
po.
you give me specific programs running in your task manager? Anong program ba dyan ang naka-open? O running?
CPU, memory, disk, and network.
Okay, those are the hardware. So what's the percentage of the CPU?
The percentage of CPU is 18%. The percentage of memory is 43. The disk is 0.
Okay, thank you, Ron J. Round of applause for Ron J. Okay, now, how about you? Would like to volunteer? Okay, Chris. Let us now watch Chris as he perform the activity using the task manager. You may now start. Okay, so what's the percentage of the memory? Is there any critical value there? Okay, then. So, thank you, Chris. Okay, palakalan natin si Chris. from the online? And
None po.
None po, sir.
students here? Okay, alright. So, very good. So now, we're going to proceed to another level because all of you using your task sheet. May I see those task sheet? Show your task. Okay, it's found below about the procedures using the task manager. Just follow the procedure and then let me know if you're finished or you need question about it. You need to, you may now start. Same thing dun sa online, please open your cameras. Do the same activity, same thing as now, for our peer-to-peer evaluation, we have here a rubric that you will use and follow to score your classmates, online and on-site. So, we have the following criteria for workmanship. 5. Apply the procedure and follow the 4 steps correctly. 4. Apply the procedure and follow the steps, but one mistake is identified. 3. Apply the procedure and follow the steps, but 2 mistakes are identified. And then 2. Apply the procedure and follow the steps, but 3 mistakes are identified. So from here, you can see how well did you perform. Same thing also as your classmate. With that, we're going to do this application. And all of you are expected to do it correctly. Okay, get your answer, get your worksheet, and then we may now proceed. Online students, you may now upload your output using the class point. For your classmate here in limited face-to-face to see if you have followed the instructions very well. Now, to check your output, let us see if you have followed the instruction clearly. So, what can you say? Nakasunod ba si Rosales?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nakasunod siya. How about you, Leah? Okay, nakasunod siya. Next, another. Mejorada. So, what can you say about the output of Mejorada? Was she able to do it correctly? Yes or no? Lapit ka iyo, tingnan mo. Yes or no? Nagawa niya ba? Same? Okay, yes. Okay, palakpakan niyo yung sarili because you're able to perform the activity very well. Online? Nakakasunod pa ba?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, sir.
May question?
None.
Online?
None po, sir.
How about the class? Any question? Okay. To fully understand more, let us now try the post test. Okay, just choose the letter of the correct answer using your class point. You may now start answering. And go. Which is not true about stress testing. Letter A is to evaluate the stability of its performance. B can be used to maintain a certain level of effectiveness under unfavorable conditions. C used to monitor the performance of a computer. And D used to be very harmful in being used upon the performance. Okay, what's the correct answer? Okay, letter? How about online? What's the correct answer?
Letter D po.
D po, sir. D.
Okay, letter D or okay, you got all correct. Ang pangalan ng mga okay. You have shown mastery regarding among to our topic for today, and I do hope that in the following session, you're able to perform as well as today. So, thank you and goodbye class.
Goodbye po.
Bye.
Okay, all students, goodbye.
Goodbye
Thank you po,
po.
sir.
Goodbye,
Bye
sir.
po.
Okay, and thank you. Parang paano yung mga sir.